Do not get me wrong, please. I am not delusional. I am not trying to compare myself to Jesus or the Prophet Muhammad or any of the other great prophets. It's more like an interesting realization that I had. If we think about what a religion really is, it is essentially a guide towards life. It teaches you what is right, it teaches you what is wrong. It gives you a set of values, a set of wisdoms to make sure that you live a productive, happy life. That you treat other people right, that society runs smoothly, etc. It's like a manual towards life. But this is the problem. The great religions that we have, they are literally thousands of years old. And they contain a lot of elements, like the element of creation and the actual concept of a god, the invisible man in the sky, that too many people today simply find too unrealistic to believe. Me personally included. As I grow older, I start to get a better understanding of how good the religious values really are and how meaningful they really are to society. But I simply cannot make myself believe that there is a God if I don't believe that there is a God. That's just not possible. Now, I don't want to sound too much like the spurgy Redditor atheist, but I almost think, no offense to religions or religious people, but I almost think that religions are simply not up to date with our current understanding of the world. We simply know too much about science and too much about how the world really works to be able to believe in these 2,000-year-old stories. And I honestly think that is a shame. I genuinely do, because I can see this happening. As we are losing our interest in religion, we are also losing the values along with them. The values are dying. And a lot of modernists are going to disagree with me saying this, but I genuinely think that there are a lot of problems that we see happening today, both on the personal and societal level, that are the result of dying values. There are so many people that are unhappy, unhealthy, people that are protesting, fighting for just absolutely dumb fictional causes, and just people generally wasting away their life on absolute modern degeneracy. I honestly think that a lot of personal and societal problems could, to some extent, be fixed if people had stronger values. Now, this is the irony. The values that we need are the values that we had all along. We've known these values for literally thousands of years, but we are losing these values right now because they come in the form of 2,000-year-old stories that we simply cannot believe anymore. Too many people can't believe them anymore. But this is where self-improvement comes in. Self-improvement is in some way the new up-to-date religion. A lot of people are going to think this is a very, very cringy statement or even a joke. But think about it. Self-improvement has so much overlap with religious values. It's f***ing unreal. There is prayer. In religion, you pray to God, right? You either pray to God to thank God for something that happened, or you pray to God to ask God for something to happen. In self-improvement, we do the exact same thing. But instead of calling it prayer, we call it practicing gratitude or manifestation or goal setting. No fab. Pretty much all the great religions say something about not masturbating too often. Fasting. They all say something about having a period wherein you fast. Islam goes even further than that because Ramadan is not just about avoiding food, but it is actually in some way like a dopamine detox. Think about that. Islam taught us that dopamine detox. Self-improvement even teaches us the concept of heaven and hell. If you sin, you do the bad things, you procrastinate and you fap to porn all the time, you go to hell. But you don't go to hell when you die, no, you go to hell right now. Your life turns into hell. If you sin, your life turns into hell. Hell is a symbolism for what happens if you do the bad things. Self-improvement is teaching us all these values that we've known for thousands of years, but we've lost over time. And it's sort of reintroducing these values to us in a more modern, more up-to-date way. And so a lot of people are going to dislike this statement, but in a way, self-improvement is the new up-to-date religion that the world needs. And if self-improvement is the new religion, well, what do we call people that teach and promote a religion? That's right, a prophet, which makes a self-improvement YouTuber a prophet. Now again, guys, don't take this the wrong way. I'm really saying this is more of like a joke, a funny realization. I'm not saying that self-improvement YouTubers are particularly good prophets. You can think that I am a very bad prophet. That's up to you. I just thought that this was an interesting realization. But here's the takeaway from this video, because I wasn't just saying all of this to prove a point that I could call myself a prophet. There's an actual lesson to this. I think it is incredibly important to think about it like this and realize what self-improvement really means to our lives. It isn't about the grind set and getting a bunch of productivity tips so that you can become a millionaire. Self-improvement is about teaching you values. It's about learning what things in life are bad for you and what things in life are good for you. It is a manual for living a good life, just like religions were originally intended to be. I think that self-improvement can really change a lot of people's lives for the better. It can really take your life from a miserable, unproductive life where you are depressed and you procrastinate all the time, and it can really take that to the point where you actually become happy and you actually become productive and start working towards your goals. If you know what self-improvement really is, if you have a good relationship with self-improvement, if you view self-improvement as this holistic thing, because I see a lot of negativity surrounding self-improvement as well. I see stories where people say stuff like, well, self-improvement is bad because I was focused on self-improvement and I was on the grind set, but then I was neglecting my mental health and my relationships, and I became very unhappy. So be careful with self-improvement, guys. Well, honestly, if that is you, you are either watching the wrong channels, you have the wrong idea of what self-improvement is, what a self-improvement influencer YouTuber is, or you are misinterpreting what these people are saying. Because I've been into this self-improvement community for quite a while now, and I honestly am very aware of the fact that you shouldn't just grind and become a workaholic and neglect the other aspects of your life. Or people say something like, well, self-improvement gave me this unrealistic standard where I was constantly thinking that I was not good enough and it only made me unhappy. Well, in some way, you are doing the same thing as an anorexic person that gets mad at a dietitian for trying to give people advice on how to lose weight or something like that. You know, I'm not trying to undervalue the seriousness of being an anorexic person or the seriousness of thinking that you are not good enough. I know that mental issues can be quite serious, but to be honest, most of these people that are saying something like that, they already had issues. They already had underlying issues like the symbolical anorexia, but now it's like self-image issues. They've always thought that they were not good enough or that they need to become better or whatever. And so now they sort of hopped on self-improvement, and self-improvement might have accentuated these issues, but really, you know, the problem isn't self-improvement. You can't point the finger at the dietitian or at self-improvement if the real problem is you. Again, I'm not trying to say that your issues are nonsense, but you already had issues and then you had a bad relationship with either the dietitian or self-improvement, which accentuated your issues. And really, if you would have had a better relationship with that thing, that person or that self-improvement could have probably actually helped you. It honestly hurts my heart to see someone say stuff like this, because I think that when you don't have like an unhealthy relationship with self-improvement, and if you don't have an unrealistic image of what it's supposed to mean, if you realize that it is a holistic approach, that it covers mental health and all the other aspects as well, it can make such amazing changes to your life. So I think that is really important to realize. Realize that it's not this quick fix that is going to make you a millionaire. It is not about the grind set. It is not about constantly having to become a better version of yourself and that you are not good enough right now. It is simply a set of values and wisdoms. It is something that teaches you what things in life might be bad for you, what things in life might be good for you, so that you can use all of these tools to try to create the best, happiest life you can.